What if I told you there's a country where 95-year-olds are still gardening, climbing stairs without handrails, and getting up from the floor with ease? While here in America, most people need help with daily activities by age 66? Japan has 95,119 centenarians who are still active, independent, and mentally sharp. Compare that to our healthy lifespan ending at 66, followed by 12 years of pills, procedures, and declining independence. Here's what your doctor hasn't told you about the Japanese secret. Since 1928, Japan has had a national program where people of all ages gather every morning to do 6 simple postures that take just 15 minutes. Not complicated gym routines or expensive equipment. Just gentle movements that work with your body's natural design, not against it. Before we dive in, I want you to do something for me. Think about one movement that's gotten harder for you lately. Maybe getting out of bed takes longer, or turning to look behind you feels stiff, or perhaps you avoid sitting on the floor because getting back up feels impossible. If this sounds familiar, type yes in the comments. If you're watching this for a loved one, type caring, because taking care of each other is what this journey is all about. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another tip that could add years of independence to your life. Let's start with something that might sound intimidating, but it's actually gentler than getting out of your favorite chair. This first movement is called shikodachi. And before you say, "I can't squat," hear me out. This isn't the deep squat you're thinking of. This is the sumo secret your physical therapist wishes they'd told you about. Here's something most people don't realize. Sumo wrestlers have been using this exact position for over 1,500 years to develop extraordinary leg strength and stability. But here's what's fascinating about shikodachi. It's not about brute force or flexibility. It's about working with your body's natural mechanics, not against them. Think about your hips for a moment. They're like the master key to everything you do. Walking, standing, getting out of chairs, climbing stairs, even your balance. But years of sitting in chairs, cars, and recliners have locked them up tight. It's like having a traffic jam that starts with one blocked intersection, and suddenly your entire body starts compensating in ways that create pain and stiffness. Here's where shikodachi becomes your secret weapon. Position your feet wide apart, approximately twice shoulder width, with your toes pointing outward at a 45-degree angle. Now, slowly lower your hips as if you're going to sit between your legs. Keep your back straight, chest open, and your hands can rest on your thighs for support. What makes this position so powerful is how it activates muscle chains that modern life has put to sleep. This isn't just working your quadriceps, glutes, and inner thigh muscles. These are the exact muscles you need for getting out of chairs, climbing stairs, and maintaining balance. But here's what blew my mind when I first learned this. Biomechanical studies show this posture activates more muscle fibers in your legs than conventional squats. The hip opening you get from this position is crucial. As we age, our hips naturally tighten from sitting, which creates a cascade of problems: knee pain, back pain, balance issues. It's all connected. Shikodachi addresses all of these by restoring your natural hip mobility. Think of it as unlocking a door that's been stuck for years. Start by holding shikodachi for just 20 to 30 seconds. Don't force it. Your body will adapt gradually, just like water slowly wearing away stone. If you feel unstable, hold onto a sturdy chair or wall for support. And I mean sturdy, not that wobbly dining room chair. Here's the most common mistake I see people make. They arch their lower back, which transfers all the work away from your legs where it should be. Keep that spine neutral. Think of it as sitting back and down, not just down. As you get stronger, work up to holding this for 1 to 2 minutes. Professional sumo wrestlers can maintain shikodachi for 15 to 20 minutes. But we're not training for the ring. We're training for life. Can't get down that low right now? No problem. Start where you are. Even holding a wider stance with a slight bend in your knees begins to wake up those sleeping muscle chains. Your range will improve over time. The beautiful thing about shikodachi is you can literally feel it working. that gentle burn in your thighs, the opening sensation in your hips, that's your body remembering how it was designed to move. You're not just getting stronger, you're reclaiming movement patterns that should never have been lost in the first place. Now that you've got the foundation strength from Shikodachi, let's move on to something that will challenge your balance and stability in a completely different way. This next movement addresses something most people over 50 struggle with, but rarely talk about. This next movement is called Nekodachi, which literally means cat foot stance. And just like a cat, testing uncertain ground with its paw, this elegant position is going to wake up muscles that have been asleep for decades. Here's something that affects nearly every person over 50, but we rarely talk about it openly. Your balance isn't what it used to be. Maybe you've noticed you hold the handrail a little tighter going downstairs. Perhaps you avoid walking on uneven surfaces, or you feel less confident in the dark. This isn't just getting older. This is your stabilizer muscles going dormant. This movement comes from traditional karate masters during the Edo period. They understood something we've forgotten in our modern world of flat surfaces and supportive shoes. Your feet aren't just platforms to stand on. They're incredibly sophisticated balance systems with dozens of small muscles that create stability and confidence with every step. Here's how Nekodachi works. Stand with one foot forward, but here's the key difference. You're only going to rest the ball of your front foot on the ground, just like a cat testing a surface with its paw before committing its full weight. Your back foot stays fully planted, supporting about 70% of your weight. Both knees should be slightly bent, and keep your hips facing forward. This might feel awkward at first, and that's exactly the point. That awkwardness you're feeling? Those are your often neglected stabilizer muscles being forced to wake up and work. Your ankle muscles, your deep hip stabilizers, and your core all have to coordinate to keep you balanced. These are the exact muscles that prevent falls and give you confidence on uneven surfaces. What's remarkable about this movement is how it strengthens the intrinsic muscles of your feet. These are the small muscles that create your arch and provide stability. Modern shoes and flat surfaces have weakened these muscles, but Nekodachi brings them back to life. Think of it as physical therapy for muscles you didn't even know existed. If you're just starting out, practice Nekodachi next to a wall or sturdy chair for support. There's no shame in using support. Even martial arts masters started with assistance. Hold the position for 20 to 30 seconds on each side, then switch. The goal isn't to be perfect immediately. It's to challenge your balance system gradually, like teaching your nervous system a new language. Here's a common mistake alert. Don't lean heavily on your front foot. Remember, you're testing the ground like a cautious cat, not committing your full weight. If you find yourself putting too much pressure on that front foot, step back and redistribute your weight to the back leg. As you improve, try adding small weight shifts between your front and back foot, or even slow arm movements while maintaining the leg position. These progressions turn Nekodachi from a static hold into a dynamic balance challenge that mimics real-world situations. But here's what I find most interesting about this movement. It's not just building physical balance, it's building confidence. When your stabilizer muscles are strong and responsive, you move through the world differently. You're not afraid of uneven sidewalks or unexpected obstacles. You trust your body to adapt and respond. The intrinsic foot muscles you're strengthening with Nekodachi are the same ones that help you navigate stairs in the dark, recover from a stumble, or confidently step onto an escalator. These aren't just exercises. These are life skills disguised as simple movements. Practice this movement for just a few weeks, and you'll notice something interesting. Your feet will start to feel more alive, more connected to the ground. Walking will feel more stable and confident. That's not your imagination. That's your nervous system remembering how to keep you upright and secure. Now we've worked on leg strength and balance. But here's where things get really interesting. The next movement is what keeps Japanese people standing tall and pain-free well into their 80s. We're going to address your posture now, and here's something that might surprise you. It's not about sitting up straight or pulling your shoulders back. Real posture comes from the ground up. This movement is called seiza, which translates to proper sitting or correct sitting. Here's the reality about posture after 50. You can remind yourself to stand tall 100 times a day, but if the muscles that actually support your spine are weak, you're fighting a losing battle. It's like trying to hold up a tent with broken tent poles. The effort is exhausting, and the results don't last. This traditional Japanese sitting position has roots dating back to the Muromachi period and became a fundamental element of Japanese etiquette. Historically, Seiza was practiced in traditional houses with tatami floors during tea ceremonies, formal meals, and moments of meditation. But here's what the Japanese understood that we've forgotten. This wasn't just about politeness. This was functional movement disguised as cultural practice. Here's how to get into Seiza properly. Kneel on the floor with your knees together. Then fold your feet so the tops are flat on the ground with your toes pointing backward. Slowly lower your hips until you're sitting on your heels. Your spine should be naturally erect, not forced, but naturally tall. Now, here's what's happening in your body that most people never realize. Seiza does something remarkable to muscles that have been chronically tight from our chair-sitting culture. It deeply stretches your quadriceps and hip flexors, the muscles that get locked up from sitting in chairs all day. When these muscles are tight, they pull your pelvis forward and create that hunched-over posture we associate with aging. But here's the hidden benefit. Seiza also activates your deep core muscles and spine stabilizers. Unlike sitting in a chair where your back muscles can relax and weaken, this position requires active engagement from your postural muscles. It's like a gentle strength training session for the muscles that keep you upright, happening automatically while you sit. Think about it this way. When you sit in a soft chair, your body essentially shuts off. Your core muscles disengage, your hip flexors shorten, and your postural muscles go dormant. But in Seiza, your body has to actively participate in keeping you upright. Every minute you spend in this position is rebuilding the muscular foundation of good posture. If Seiza feels intense on your knees, place a firm cushion between your heels and your hips to reduce the pressure. This isn't cheating. This is meeting your body where it is right now. Even with modification, you're still getting the postural benefits and the deep hip flexor stretch. Here's something most people don't expect. The first time you try Seiza, you might feel it intensely in your quadriceps. That tightness you're feeling, that's years of chair sitting being unwound. Your hip flexors are literally being taught to lengthen again after being shortened for hours every day. Start with just 30 seconds to 1 minute and gradually work up to 3 to 5 minutes. You can practice Seiza while watching TV, reading, or even during meditation. The key is consistency, not duration. A few minutes daily will create lasting changes in your posture and flexibility. But here's what I find most interesting about this movement. After practicing Seiza regularly, people tell me they notice their posture improving, even when they're standing and walking. That's because you're not just stretching tight muscles. You're retraining your nervous system to remember what proper alignment feels like. The Japanese have a saying that proper posture reflects proper mind. When your body is aligned and strong, everything else follows. Your breathing improves, your confidence increases, and you move through the world with a different energy. Building on that postural foundation we just established, let's take it to the next level with a movement that's going to completely transform how you think about core strength. This is Zazen, which literally means seated meditation. And here's something that might challenge everything you think you know about core strength. Most core exercises completely miss the deep stabilizers that actually matter for daily life. Think about traditional ab workouts for a moment. Crunches, planks, sit-ups, they're all about the superficial muscles, the ones you can see in the mirror. But the muscles that keep you upright when you're carrying groceries, prevent your back from aching after standing for an hour, or help you get out of bed without that morning stiffness, those are buried deep, and most people never train them. This ancestral practice of Japanese Zen Buddhism transcends simple meditation to become a powerful isometric posture. It originated in Zen monasteries during the Kamakura period, where monks maintained this position during hours of daily meditation, simultaneously developing mental and physical strength. Here's what those monks understood intuitively that modern science has only recently proven. Sit on the floor with your legs crossed. If you can manage it, try to get each foot up on the opposite thigh in lotus position, but simple cross-legged works perfectly too. The key is your spine position. Imagine an invisible string pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. Your shoulders should be relaxed and open, chin slightly tucked. Now here's where the magic happens. Zazen deeply engages the spine-stabilizing muscles, particularly the multifidus and transverse abdominis. These are muscles most people have never heard of, but they're the unsung heroes of a pain-free back. Your core is activated to maintain the upright position while your legs experience intense stretching of the quadriceps, hip flexors, and adductors. Think of your deep core muscles like the guy wires on a radio tower. The tower might look stable from the outside, but it's those invisible cables doing the real work of keeping everything upright and steady. When these deep stabilizers are weak, your spine becomes like a tower without proper support. Every movement becomes an effort, and pain becomes inevitable. But here's what makes Zazen different from every other core exercise you've tried. You're not just building strength. Recent neuroscience studies demonstrate that Zazen, combined with conscious breathing, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing cortisol and promoting cellular regeneration. You're literally healing your body while strengthening it. The breathing component is crucial. Focus on breathing deeply and naturally while maintaining that tall spine. Don't hold your breath just because you're concentrating. This natural breathing pattern helps activate those deep core muscles we're targeting. It's like having a gentle internal massage while your postural muscles get stronger. Start with 5 to 10 minutes of Zazen, using a firm cushion under your hips to elevate your pelvis slightly. This makes spine alignment much easier and reduces strain on your lower back. Don't force your legs into painful positions. Your hip flexibility will improve over time, so work within your comfort zone. Here's something people don't expect. After practicing Zazen regularly, everyday activities become easier in ways you might not immediately connect. Carrying groceries feels lighter. Standing in line doesn't make your back ache. Getting out of bed in the morning happens more smoothly. That's because you've strengthened the muscular foundation that supports everything else you do. As you get stronger, gradually increase to 20 minutes daily. But remember, this isn't about endurance. It's about quality. 5 minutes of focused, proper Zazen is infinitely more valuable than 20 minutes of slouched, distracted sitting. The monks who developed this practice understood something we've forgotten in our modern world. True strength comes from stillness, not constant motion. Your core muscles don't need to be pumped and exhausted. They need to be educated and awakened. We're getting close to the end, but this next movement might be the most challenging one yet. Don't worry though, it's also one of the most rewarding. This is Kibadachi, which translates to horse riding stance. And here's what most people don't realize about this movement. It's going to target years of accumulated hip tightness while building incredible leg strength at the same time. This position has ancient origins in Japanese martial arts, particularly in karate. It was used by samurai during training to strengthen the legs and core, preparing them for long battles where stability was crucial. The name comes from the similarity to the posture adopted when riding a horse. But here's what those ancient warriors understood, that we've completely forgotten in our modern world. Your legs aren't just for walking from the car to the couch. They're supposed to be powerhouses of stability and strength. But years of sitting have turned them into weak support beams that can barely hold you up without effort. Kibadachi is going to change that. Position your feet parallel and apart, approximately shoulder width plus another foot wider. This might feel awkwardly wide at first, and that's exactly right. Bend your knees and lower your hips as if you were sitting in an invisible chair. Your feet should be pointing forward, fully supported on the floor. Keep your back straight, abdomen contracted, and arms relaxed at your sides. Here's what's happening in your body right now that most people never experience. Kibadachi is extremely effective for working the leg muscles, especially the quadriceps, adductors, and abductors of the thigh. It also intensely engages the glutes, hip stabilizers, and core. But beyond muscle strengthening, this position does something most exercises completely ignore. Kibadachi significantly improves the lateral stability of your body. Think about how you move through a typical day. forward and backward, up and down. But what about side to side? When was the last time you trained your body to be stable when moving laterally? Probably never. That's exactly why people lose their balance so easily as they age. Biomechanical studies show that this posture develops balance and proprioception. Proprioception is your body's ability to sense where it is in space. It's like having an internal GPS system that tells your brain exactly how your body is positioned and moving. When this system gets weak, you become unsteady, uncertain, and more likely to fall. The position also promotes better alignment of the hips and knees, preventing common joint problems that develop when these joints aren't properly supported by strong, balanced muscles. Think of your joints like the hinges on a heavy door. If the door frame is weak and unstable, those hinges wear out fast. But when the frame is solid and well supported, the hinges last for decades. Start with Kibadachi for 20 to 30 seconds, performing 3 sets with rest intervals. Here's what's going to happen. Your legs are going to burn. Your glutes are going to shake. That's not weakness talking. That's years of dormant muscle fibers waking up and remembering their job. As your strength increases, extend the time to 1 to 2 minutes per set. Japanese martial arts masters often maintain this posture for 5 minutes or more. But remember, we're not training to become martial artists. We're training to navigate stairs without holding the handrail, to stand up from low chairs with confidence, to carry groceries without our legs giving out. If balance is a concern, practice near a wall for support. Focus on keeping your weight evenly distributed between both feet and avoid letting your knees collapse inward. This inward collapse is a common compensation pattern when the muscles get tired, but it defeats the purpose of the exercise. Here's what makes Kibadachi so powerful for people over 50. It builds the exact type of strength you need for real life. Not gym strength or show-off strength, but the steady, reliable strength that keeps you independent and confident in your daily movements. After just a few weeks of practicing Kibadachi, you'll notice something interesting. Standing for longer periods becomes easier. Your legs feel more solid and dependable. That's not your imagination. That's your body remembering what real leg strength feels like. Now, for our final movement, we're going to tie everything together with something that combines all the principles we've learned and gives you a way to track your progress over time. This final movement isn't traditionally Japanese, but it represents the perfect fusion between ancestral Japanese wisdom about sustained postures and modern sports science discoveries. This technique has gained extraordinary popularity in modern gyms since the 1980s and is frequently incorporated into specialized training programs. Here's why this movement is so brilliant. It ties everything together and tests how well you've integrated all the previous patterns. More importantly, it gives you a measurable way to track your progress over time. Position yourself with your back against a flat wall, feet about 12 inches away from the wall and shoulder width apart. Slide down until your knees form a 90-degree angle, like sitting in an invisible chair. Your knees should be aligned over your ankles, not pushing forward past your toes. This might sound simple, but here's what most people don't realize is happening in their body right now. This posture intensely works the quadriceps and also significantly engages the glutes, hamstrings, and core muscles. But unlike dynamic squats where the tension comes and goes, the isometric version against the wall maintains constant tension. This promotes greater muscle endurance and recruitment of slow-twitch fibers, which are fundamental for postural health and daily activities. Think about the movements you do every day: getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, standing from a low position. They all require this exact muscle coordination and strength pattern. The wall squat isn't just an exercise. It's a test of your functional capacity for real-life movements. Recent studies demonstrate that this posture improves knee joint stability, reducing the risk of common injuries that plague people as they age. The prolonged isometry also stimulates muscle capillarization, improving blood circulation in the legs. Research indicates that regular practice contributes to the maintenance of bone density, crucial in preventing osteoporosis. Start with 30-second holds of the wall squat, building up to 2 to 3 minutes as you get stronger. Here's your progress marker. When you first try this, you might barely make it 20 seconds. But track your time. Write it down. In 2 weeks, try again. In a month, try again. This simple measurement will show you exactly how much stronger your legs are getting. Focus on breathing steadily throughout the hold. If you find yourself holding your breath, you're probably working too hard or going too low. The wall should support your back, not bear your weight. You're using it for stability and alignment, not as a crutch. Here's an interesting adaptation popularized by Japanese trainers. Add a softball between your knees, pressing it gently during the exercise. This variation more intensely activates the thigh adductors and promotes better knee alignment. It also gives your mind something to focus on, besides the burning sensation in your legs. But here's what makes the wall squat your perfect progress tracker. Unlike other exercises where form can vary or you might cheat a little, the wall squat is brutally honest. You either can hold it or you can't. The wall doesn't lie, and neither does the clock. After practicing the previous 5 movements for a few weeks, come back to the wall squat. You'll be amazed at how much longer you can hold it. That's not just leg strength improving. That's your entire kinetic chain working together more efficiently. Your core is more stable, your posture is better aligned, your balance is more confident. The wall squat becomes your monthly check-in with yourself. How is my functional strength progressing? Can I hold this longer than last month? Am I getting stronger, or just going through the motions? Now that you've learned all 6 movements, you're probably wondering how to put this all together into a routine that actually fits into your real life. Remember when I asked you to think about one movement that's gotten harder lately? Maybe it was getting out of bed, turning to look behind you, or avoiding sitting on the floor because getting back up felt impossible. Here's the truth about those struggles. They're not inevitable signs of aging. They're symptoms of movement patterns we've abandoned. The Japanese didn't discover some magical fountain of youth. They simply never stopped moving in ways that support their body's natural design. These 6 movements aren't just exercises. They're a return to how your body was meant to function. Every single day, you have a choice. You can accept that movement gets harder with age, or you can spend 15 minutes reclaiming the strength and mobility that's still there, waiting to be awakened. The difference between aging with strength and independence versus declining into frailty often comes down to the small daily choices we make. These 6 movements are your daily choice to age on your terms. Your future self is watching what you decide today. What's your biggest concern about starting a new movement routine? Drop a comment below and tell me what's holding you back. I read every single comment, and I'll personally respond with specific advice for your situation. If we hit 100 comments, I'll reveal another Japanese secret that most Japanese do every single day, but no one in the West has ever heard of. Don't forget to subscribe, so you never miss a video that could add years of independence to your life.